And welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show.
All right.
This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean. This is...
Go ahead.
I'm the Zennial Dean. I've been reprimanded.
I'm the
Zennial Dean.
Yep. That's what,
Dean the Zennial.
We'll talk about your performance improvement plan more later. I'm Brian, GenX.
Getting line behind Megan.
And that's just in the bedroom. Thank you very much.
And I, Brian, am a millennial. My name's Nick, and favorite student of Brian's. And if you're just joining us for the first time, well, shame on you. Shame. We've been at this for quite some time now. If you go to your Facebook or your YouTube, in fact, and search for Convincing Idiots, you'll find that we have pages there. So you should go there and you should like them, and you should subscribe that shit as well. Also, go to Twitter.
Share them with your friends.
Yeah, share that shit. Also on Twitter, we are at Convincing Idiot. Just one of us there. No S needed. On Instagram, we're at convincing_idiots because that's what happens when you have a space on Instagram. On TikTok, we are at Convincing Idiots as well. Also, you can feel free to email us if you so wish. We are at convincingidiots@gmail.com. Also, we are available wherever you like to listen to your podcast. Chances are good you're probably listening to us on one of them right now. So if you have multiple devices that you like to listen. I'm sorry, there's a very loud beard combing happening. If you have other platforms you like to listen to us on, you can go there and subscribe there as well. It really helps us out. Or ask your home assistant device to play the Convincing Idiots podcast. Also, Convincing Idiots Linktree, that's a new thing that we have. If you go to Google and you search Convincing Idiots, hopefully you know how to spell that, and then linktr.ee, Convincing Idiots Linktree, we're the ones that has all the links to all those places, including our email, the podcast platforms, and all the social media things that I just mentioned. So be sure to go over to that and just, poke around. Just give it a poke. Just start poking shit. Start clicking links and see where it takes you. Oh, it'd be fun.
God damn it, just be our friend.
Yeah, come on, please.
Come on.
Don't make us beg, even though we already are.
We really are.
Yeah. So anyway, we're here this week on Convincing Idiots. We're going to talk about just some stuff. We're going to shoot the shit. I'm here with my pals, or so the show description tells me. Dean and Brian are my pals, I guess. We're three friends from three different generations. So we're going to talk about things.
We just met like 20 minutes before this started.
Yeah, just kind of see what millennials think.
So we're all
see
paid
what
to say.
Zennials think, see what Gen X thinks, and hope that Blake Insurance Agency will still wish to attach their name to our fun show.
That's right.
So
and if you think really hard and make a wish, maybe say millennial 3 times in a mirror, it's possible during this show another millennial may magically appear. It's possible.
Ooh, interesting.
So we'll see. It may happen. It may not happen. So we'll see.
See, I thought if I looked in the mirror and said millennial 3 times, that automatically a medium T-shirt would just appear on me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, on you. Never mind.
No, on me.
Oh,
you already did it in the mirror. That's why I thought it would work for me.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If it appeared on me, I would have to maybe cut it with the jaws of life, perhaps, to get it off.
That's called a belly shirt, a baby tee.
Yeah, that's right. So, Nick,
what do we have to do to get this to happen?
Yeah, what do we have to say all together? And what is how this ritual work?
Is there money we have to give you? I mean, is there a bet you have to lose? I need to make this happen.
Yeah, maybe just at the bourbon tasting we do. Who knows?
I like this.
Yeah, not a whole lot. Yeah. So like you said, Nick, just random topics tonight here. Now, you had mentioned a topic prior to the recording here.
Yeah.
It seemed very strange and interesting here. So what were you talking about, sir? What did you see today?
So on this edition with What's Going On in the News with Nick, did any of you this week spotted near Los Angeles, California, there was a man wearing only a pair of underwear and one sock. He climbed the scaffolding of a local church. and set the cross on top of the building on fire. Did any of you hear about this at all?
I didn't, other than what you'd told us.
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Did not.
So it doesn't end there. It's not just this. I don't know if
He
it's,
didn't climb up, put a match to it, and then climb down.
There's a laundry list of things, of issues he could have with the Catholic Church, but for whatever reason this happened, I don't know. But he climbed the scaffolding to this church. He lit the cross on fire on top of the building. So at this point, people have called the authorities. There's actually quite clear footage of this man on top of the building as a police chopper is flying over him, shining a light on him. So now he's on the run.
Sound effects.
It's very good.
Thank you.
He's on the run. He's running off the roof, and he's running. He's leaping from rooftop to rooftop to try to get away. And not only is there footage from the police copter and with the light on him, there's people from other buildings nearby on their phones taking video of him landing on their roof and rolling around. And it doesn't just stop with the roof leaping. Okay, there's a lot of climbing involved. At one point, he is rappelling down the side of a building, climbing up the sides of buildings. At one point, he is actually he has his feet and arms wrapped around a power cord, a power line, in which he is climbing across from one building to another where he can't leap. And apparently, this carries on for over 2 hours. He did this for more than 2 hours. Till he was finally caught.
Yes, Jim, we're out here. It appears that he's jumping roof from roof. He's got underwear and just one sock. Just one sock. One fall off. But he's moving roof to roof. I cannot tell. Oh, there goes his underwear. We're in trouble.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. Now, I don't know what he was taken into custody with, but when this began, it was just one sock and underwear. I don't know how it ended. But yeah, so this went on for quite a while. I found it very interesting. Some sort of satanic Spider-Man or whatever's going on here. I'm not sure. But yeah, definitely a really every once in a while
with Urban Ninja Warrior.
There is a news story that catches my eye that it just sticks with you. It's that's not one I'm gonna I'll be remembering this story for years to come.
I gotta go see the video.
Very interesting. Definitely watch look it up, watch the video, because like I said, the film footage is very good. At one point, they were at least the one news feed I was watching, they were interviewing a young woman that was recalling her experience and seeing it, and she's just got a smile on her face the entire time she's talking about it. She's just like, I've never seen anything like it. It's insane. But I gotta say, hey. Obviously, something has happened to make this man do this. I don't know the whole story as far as his personal vendetta with this particular church or the religion in general. I don't know. So questionable decision making, regardless if you're setting fire to a church or any other building. Questionable decision making. However, full round of applause. The athletic ability on this gentleman. Wait till you see this video. Seriously, go look it up.
Warrior.
It is incredible. It is incredible. Very, very entertaining. Very, very commendable.
I picture him at a 7-Eleven, and that's the end. He starts with he wakes up in the morning, and he goes to get dressed right, and he goes to put one sock on, and the toe rips through, so he takes a deep breath, pulls the sock off, just throws it off, so now he's got the one sock. Mm-hmm. Puts on his clothes, walks out. Maybe somebody cuts him off. He gets a phone call and his dog died. Just things start adding up, and then finally he's at the 7-Eleven with two slushies, double fist and slushies. He's trying to get to his keys, and the bottom falls out in both of them, and slushies go down everything, and that's it. That's when he snaps.
Yep.
Clothes come off. He sees red, he slushy all over him, and he's down in his underwear. Red slushy, one sock, and he just goes ape shit.
Yep.
And the last thing he screams is, God! And that's when he sees the cross.
Why have you forsaken me?
Right. Mm-hmm. And he just scales it. He's got a mission now.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I picture.
That's a very descriptive picture you painted, and at this point, I actually am on his side. I'm not even. I'm backing him 100%. That's a shitty string of events to happen.
It's a shitty day.
For me, it's typically the Circle K near us here. There were the Circle K's in the northeastern Ohio area. I can't speak to elsewhere, but they have a Nerds slushy. Right? I had it one time. It was incredible. Nerds candy flavored slushy, obviously.
Sure.
Not us nerds.
I just thought because you were drinking, they're like, look, a nerd slushy.
There's a nerd, yeah, right. Yes. But anyway, I had it
regular.
one time.
I know.
And now I can't fucking find it anywhere. So that pisses me off. But this guy, I mean, if first it's a hole in the sock, then you're dropping slushies. Then it's just, I mean,
dog died.
No, I can sympathize.
Flat tire.
Could you buy Nerds and put it in the slushy?
Yeah, it's not the same, right? No. Okay, so that's a whole different thing.
Okay.
I had a Nerd slushy, right, at Sonic a couple of years ago. They have a special nerd. It has nerds in it. It's also
in it.
It's incredible. But that is like a different. That's like a.
So this is just nerd flavoring.
That usually is typically like a pina colada flavored slushy with nerds in it. The slushy with nothing in it tastes like Nerds candy. It's a whole different thing.
I see.
Hold on. Let me find a mirror. Let me find a mirror. Millennial. Hey, look at work.
See?
Is that Scott? Is that cousin Scott that we're seeing right now? A fellow millennial?
Scott Petra.
Yeah. So with that story, Nick, I could. You ever see that movie Falling Down with Michael?
Oh, that's one of my favorite movies.
It's a great movie.
There was some meme or something like that where as a kid, it's like this, that's what the meme had. As a kid, you watch that movie and you're kind of like, what's up with this guy, basically? And then as an adult, you're like, yeah, I can see that.
Get it.
He's in his car, he's driving, he's stuck on the expressway, that fly's buzzing around his head, and he just says, that's it.
He just snaps and he goes into
the car
like
in a park, steps out of the car, abandons the car on the expressway, grabs a baseball bat.
He's like in the middle lane. Like,
right. Says, I'm done.
The best scene is in the fast food joint when he is 1 minute away from getting the breakfast and he asks for breakfast. And they're like, no, sir, he goes, well, I've got 1 minute. Sorry, everything's closed down. We're on to lunch. And the employees are just like, all right, just forget about it. It's not happening. He pulls a gun and he's this mild mannered, horn rimmed glasses, short sleeve shirt, but, tie, businessman type thing.
Yep.
And he's just pushed too far.
I love the weapons upgrade version. Like aspect of that movie, he goes from a baseball bat to a rocket launcher.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yep. All right. Well, Nick, I have my last theory with that guy that went crazy and was doing the Spider-Man. It's also possible he listened to the Convincing Idiots superhero battle bracket, and perhaps it was either the episode where Spider-Man was defeated by Doctor Strange, or perhaps when Martian Manhunter defeated Superman, and that was it.
Brian,
that was it. Set him right over the edge.
If he knows comic books, the Martian Manhunter one is no surprise.
Yep.
I want to go ahead. If you guys don't mind, let me go ahead and break down the fourth wall real quick. You now have no choice but to place the fucking next up or the episode before this one, right? you just pigeonholed of how you post these.
Yeah, there you go. Very good.
Just let everybody know. I don't know on YouTube you'll be able to see, but we are dressed the same because we're going back to back because we will have some fun stories coming back in a couple of weeks.
Yes,
he didn't give anything away.
I didn't give anything away.
He didn't give anything away.
No. But he said if you would have listened
to the past episodes, though,
right?
Which is not the one that we just did.
Didn't you just say the finals?
No,
nope, not that one.
No. I talked about Spider-Man losing to Doctor Strange, went to the championship.
Sure.
So Brian has some editing to do.
Yeah. And then, I didn't give away the. I didn't give away the winner.
For you. No. I just broke down the fourth wall and made you.
I was
but you didn't say. Nobody said what happened. Everybody stop fucking talking. Nobody said what happened. Nobody said what happened. Nobody say anything more.
Yeah, that's it. Spoilers. That's it. No spoiler. I didn't spoil it. Okay. So other random pop culture topic, and welcome my first cousin Scott again to the show.
Hi, Scott.
We're just doing random topics here tonight. So, Dean, one of your favorite shows.
Would it be weird or even scarier if he introduced you as his last cousin?
Yep.
I don't know what it would mean, but it would just seem more ominous, I think.
Just know there will be no more.
My last cousin.
In his defense, there.
It'd be a toss-up between Scott and his brother Adam.
All right.
Would be the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so that's a compliment in many respects. Yeah.
I'm sure Adam's fine. What's that?
I said if I end up with another sibling, that'll be
right.
That'll be a story to tell.
All right, so Dean, one of your favorite shows that you've mentioned several times is Night Court from the 80s.
Yeah.
We just had an unfortunate passing. Charlie Robinson, who played Mac on Night Court, passed away at age 75.
Oh, are you laughing at the death of a gentleman, Nicholas?
I think
Charles Robinson passed away, and it's a sad thing. His family's sad. They have to now bury the old man.
That is unfortunate.
And you two millennials are laughing because you enjoy watching old people die.
I'm not. First of all, I'm not laughing at this gentleman passing away. However, if I did, it would be less egregious for me to laugh at a. How old was he?
75.
75-year-old man passing away. Than Mr. Dean here laughing last week at a 24-year-old passing away.
Wow, he did.
Or making a joke.
No.
But I was not laughing at that. I was not laughing at that.
Hold on. Wait a minute. That's not true. I didn't laugh. I made a really shitty, inappropriate, way too soon joke, but I didn't laugh. I mean, granted, I laughed at my joke, but I didn't laugh at him dying. Like you two, I just laughed at this gentleman passing away and.
We are not laughing
going
at that.
To be with
First
Jesus.
of all, obviously, we are millennials, so we don't know who this person is. But my sympathies to the family and all that stuff. I'm not laughing at his passing. I am laughing because I feel like I need to. We need to invoke an obituary section of the show. Every single episode, there is a string of people who died from things that they were in that. Only you two know what they were because they're obviously old. So, I'm laughing because it's like, well, this week so-and-so died that you've never heard of. It's just,
Brian,
again, my sympathies to this gentleman, and I'm sure he did great work on Night Court, was it? Or Murder She Wrote or whatever.
One of the greatest sitcoms of the 1980s.
Okay, so sympathies to the family, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I would like to second that. Yeah, I'm not laughing at a person dying.
No, absolutely not.
The last time I was on,
I should have worn a sweater vest.
Yes, he did wear the button-up sweaters like you write on every episode. Okay, so
Scott was trying to speak before you guys cut him off.
Go ahead.
I was saying, last time I was on with you guys, your pop culture stuff was all from the 70s and 80s.
Sure.
I had nothing to say to any of it.
Yes. Well, I'm partially to blame because in my defense, Brian always comes to the table every week and goes, anybody have anything? And we typically don't. So I guess I need to pick up the slack in that regard. However, Scott, unless you're here, the roles will be reversed and they won't know who the hell I'm talking about if I bring up anything.
That's true.
So it's kind of a double-edged sword there. So but again, sympathy. No, of course, I do not know of who you speak. Sympathies to the family, but I did find it funny that it seems like we always have an obituary section.
See, I'm going to be in the middle because, I'm in the middle of all of you. So,
but not actually. You should be.
If I don't bring any topics to the table, either we're going to be talking about swing music or Bitcoin and two goddamn things I don't know either things about. So I'm lost.
I would say you're actually closer to my age than Brian's. However, your taste in pop culture is potentially older than Brian's. So it's somewhere skewed.
That's
it's
true.
In there. Yeah.
All right. Well, some death that actually is entertaining and appropriate to enjoy. Okay.
Oh,
By all
wow.
means, I
Can't wait to hear
where
that
this
one.
goes. Yeah.
Yes, I watched this on Sunday night on Netflix. Fear Street, 1994. So this is going to be apparently a horror movie trilogy, where it's an
Did you say horror or whore?
horror.
Okay.
Okay.
Less interested, but go ahead.
Yeah. So the concept is there's a consistent evil force, which I won't spoil anything, that will make it's like the groups are fighting this force in different eras. Okay, so this particular movie was set in 1994, and it felt very much like a Scream movie. The movie Scream from the 90s. Okay, the next movie is going to be set in 1978 at a camp, so not unlike a Friday the 13th type feel to it. Okay, and the third movie I think is going to be set in like the 16 or 1700s or something like that. So all slasher movies in their own right.
Anthology, like the same actors.
No, it's going to be different actors, but they tie them all together in one storyline, if you will.
This is one season, different episodes, or is it one season? Is 1700s one season? 1990.
It's a movie. It's three movies. So this was like a 2-hour-long movie. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was a very interesting concept. First of all, if you enjoy slasher movies and you are a remote fan of Scream, I think you will enjoy this movie. There's definitely some funny parts. It's definitely some blood. It's not for kids. So it was fun. And I listened to another podcast. So the lady, there's a woman who, I think she was a screenwriter, producer, or director, or something but it was her project. Okay. And in her mind, it could be something to where, like, the Marvel universe can branch off into different heroes and storylines. If this catches on, in her mind, you could do all kinds of different eras and slasher movies and stuff like that in this universe, if you will, this Fear Street universe, all tying together this consistent evil force or whatever it is. So
it's interesting.
Yeah, so check it out if you like those type of movies. Fear Street. 1994 on Netflix. It was one of their top 10 streaming movies this past weekend.
Okay. I think I'd heard of that, but I didn't know quite what it was. But that sounds...
Mainly because he can't read.
Yeah. What's that, Scott?
Numbers.
Isn't it based on like a R.L. Stine book series?
Goosebumps?
Maybe that's right. I don't know if it's R.L. Stine, but maybe it was a book series, now that you say that. But there's like I said, I won't spoil it, but there is a consistent evil force throughout these. I think you're right. Maybe I think it might have been based on a book series. Now that you say that, I also learned, by the way, looking at that movie, they are making a new Scream movie.
They are done in production. They are now in post-production.
There you go, starring many of the same actors in the original Scream movie: Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, and others. That'll be out in theaters in January 2022. So that would be a fun one. Yeah. We should go check out at that in January. Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. Another big movie that started it released in theaters and streaming recently last week, Black Widow, the prequel, and it made a ton. I don't know if you saw the numbers.
$80 million.
Wow.
That was only in theaters.
Right.
60 million streaming.
Shit.
Wow.
So obviously it's really
smart thing killing that fucking character off.
No, it's just obviously if people are waiting around for another Marvel movie, people didn't seem to care that was a prequel. They want to see I bet that could have been any Marvel movie that released almost. Now that's Scarlett Johansson. I like her in that role.
Could have even been a Doctor
character.
Strange movie, probably.
It could have been. But it just further reinforces that strategy that is smart. Now that you could rent it for $30 on Disney Plus, or eventually it'll be free, of course. But so the streaming numbers have really caught my eye big time. To make that much in streaming is pretty incredible. Go ahead.
Think of it this way. I mean, yes, it is remarkable, especially for that character who's already dead, for people to want to go see the movie. But you also got to think that it is $30 a pop at home. So, if you want to watch it at home and enjoy it at home, in the comfort of your own home, you're going to spend $30 compared to the $12 you're going to spend out at the theater. You know what I mean? I mean, so
Right,
you're
sure.
you're almost doubling the price.
Well,
You know,
but
depending on the area and pricing.
if you take a family of a few kids, like if Dick takes
Yeah.
all his clan out to the theater, right,
Right.
then he's going to spend more than $30 just
Right.
getting in there.
Probably
practically.
talking close to 50, actually.
You know what I'm saying? Plus
But he can,
concessions and everything
but he
else.
can leave them in the car and crack the window, though.
That's true.
It's true.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. But,
That's where-
you know, so obviously you still have the pandemic as well and all that. But do you think that this continues to set the groundwork for this type of strategy? Or is it just anybody was going to go, someone's going to watch this movie regardless because it's a Marvel movie? What do you guys think?
I think it's the new thing because, I mean, really, so you've got a lot of different factors here. It's been building for a long time, but
That's exactly it.
factor one is TVs are getting better, sound systems are getting better, in-home experience. People
Yep.
like the ability to not have to deal with other people. Maybe someone's being loud. Maybe you miss something, you can run it back. Your TV screen is as good as or better than being in a movie theater. You can get things cheaper at home, whether it be snacks or drinks. You can have a beer. Well, some movie theaters have that too.
Sure.
But, I mean, so the experience
when Nick watches it in his home, he still puts his kids in the car and cracks the window.
I want
to put that out there.
the authentic
distracting.
movie theater experience.
Yeah,
Too distracting.
Authentic. Yeah,
way
they're
too
loud.
distracting.
They don't know when to
Yeah.
stop, so they're going to stay in the car.
Yep.
Mhm.
But no, so there's that. But then now you've got the added twist to the pandemic that we've recently been through and things like that. Now you've got people with concerns about being around a bunch of other people. You don't know if everyone is being responsible, if they've been vaccinated or if they're not, or if you feel safe with that. You're in a big room with a bunch of strangers, and we've just gone through the last year plus of not being accustomed to that, and maybe some people still feel weird about that. So I think
See,
with the
to me, it's
combination
a Scarlett
of those
Johansson
two-
movie. I would figure the theater would be empty if I'm going into it. I would just presume that.
Man.
Interesting take. All right. But in all reality, I think that when movies first started doing this, I thought it was odd that they would release a movie in the theater and also have it available the same day, streaming, because I'm like, well, if you're a subscriber, why would you do? But that's not the point. The point is they're giving you multiple options. So now you,
Right.
the in-home streamer, have the option to watch it. Or if you're not, hey, you can still go to the movies and see it. I think it's brilliant, and I think that is what a lot of people are going to start doing because
We just
it's nice
watched
to have
Boss
that
Baby
option.
2 today here at the house.
Yeah. Whenever you release this, Brian, but this coming weekend, I'm probably going to double up on Space Jam's revenue. I'm probably going to watch it at home and go take the kid to the theater and see it because I
Hey.
want both experiences, and I'm excited.
I mean,
so
we
we're
can
probably
go-
going to see both of them.
We can go offline though, but Friday we're thinking about going if you guys want to join us.
We will be out of town, but
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I think we'll probably go to see it in South Carolina when we go on vacation.
It's not playing
But
there.
yeah, it's not. It's really exclusive to Ohio. Is that right?
No, everywhere else it's not playing
there.
in South
I see.
Carolina.
Okay.
It's a weird marketing thing. I don't agree with it, but
Yeah.
that's what they're doing.
Definitely odd. Definitely odd.
Mhm.
But yeah,
All right.
no, I think it's
Go
good.
ahead.
I
Go
think
ahead,
one
Dean.
of the things that you have to look at is for this movie, why it made so much, is that it was supposed to come out like 4 different times. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It kept
Yep.
getting pushed back and back. So I think if you were going to put this movie out and go, okay, coming this fall, I don't think it would have the impact that it had because it kept getting pushed back and pushed back. So people kind of want to see it. Shit. When they announced it, which Endgame had happened, right?
Yeah.
So she was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So she was already dead
Correct.
when they announced it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, but to me, when you keep pushing it back, it builds up the anticipation and stuff. So, regardless of how you see it, I think that's one of the things of people wanting to see it.
Mhm.
I think the one of the key things that you're going to find out just what Marvel's grip is that Shang-Chi
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
movie.
Yes. Yes.
Let's see how that does.
That looks fabulous.
It does, but does it look fabulous enough to warrant the 80 million here, 60 million here, given that it's not a known property yet? It's not a known character or have known characters in it that you know of.
I think that one a clean house because it just is a whole other. Well,
Okay.
I think so. I think it's
Okay.
well, that'll be interesting.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's the judge for Marvel right now.
This is a whole other. There's a lot of debates with that one too, because this is a whole other. You've not had a hero at that level of Asian descent either that I could think of. So the whole movie is starring some pretty well-known. There's a couple well-known Asian actors and actresses, and so it's a whole other thing. So it depends. It was like the dynamic of Black Panther. It was like a whole different audience
and that did quite well.
That came in. Anyway, before we jump in it, so Scott, what do you think about the strategy of the streaming versus the theater? Do you care about the theater versus streaming, or do you just want to see the movie, or are you more? I still prefer the big screen in some of these blockbuster type movies.
I mean, I think it's genius, to be honest with you, because I was actually thinking about this earlier this week. I like going to the theater. There are a few movies that I'm like, yeah, I'm going to make sure I catch that right away. But a lot of times I'm like, yeah, I'll just wait till that comes out on video. It comes out on Redbox or something like that on a streaming service. But now when they do the dual release or whatever, and it's sitting there at $30, you kind of want to go ahead and drop the $30 instead of go to the movie theater. I think it's smart. Like I almost bought, we're talking about Black Widow. I almost bought it the other day.
See, that was my thought too. But $30, it's also just me and my son. Yeah, you're going to pay $15, at a ticket at the thing, but you're still, when you sit there and you're thinking $30, I don't know. I just couldn't do it. Plus, him and I, we love that. We love the experience. Just him and I go and get the popcorn and just spending time together. So I prefer the theater. Now, like I said, I watched that the kid movie today because it was kind of free with the Peacock subscription, which I have. So you didn't have to pay the extra. Mm-hmm. If Black Widow would have been on without the the $30, it would have been on thing. That's what we would have watched.
Yeah,
but him and I will end up going to the theater to see Black Widow.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I just think it's smart for people like me that's like,
sure,
I don't really feel like going to the theater, but if it's there already, before you would have to wait. You would have to make the decision to wait for it to come out, either on streaming service or on DVD. But now when you can just click a button and get it, I just think it's a smart idea. I think that
you can stay in your underwear, and your one sock.
I think HBO Max, kind of missed the mark on that one.
Yep.
Because their stuff's free, as long as you have the subscription.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, I love that option, but could have made a ton more money.
I would love to have seen that Justice League in the theater.
Yeah.
But that's also 4 hours sitting in the theater,
right?
Compared to 4 hours,
and then you got to bring a fucking sleeping
room.
bag and shit, and
right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a 4-hour movie, so I can sit on the couch. When I got to go to the bathroom, press pause, be able to come back.
Right.
It's going to make a lot of people to think. Honestly, with all those movies that came out on HBO Max, Zack Snyder's Justice League, Wonder Woman 84,
Mortal Kombat,
Kong versus Godzilla. To be honest, if any of those would have been there for $30, there's no way in hell I would have paid $30 for any of those movies myself.
I would have paid for Mortal Kombat personally, but that was it.
I would have paid for Godzilla.
$15. I get. Go ahead. Sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
I was going to say I would have paid for Mortal Kombat, but the rest I only watched because you guys made me, so I wouldn't have even watched them.
Right, but there's something what Scott is saying. There's definitely an opportunity to get that mid-range dollar, whatever that right dollar is. So you're right. I don't want to go to the theater because either I don't want to spend all the money on all my kids for this particular movie or whatever it is, and or I still am uncomfortable. to get out in the public and everything else, or frankly, I just don't like to go to the movies for whatever
Or
reason.
you have to,
It's just not my thing.
if you have multiple kids, you have to start doing the math of like which ones you like the most,
Sure.
which ones you like better, which ones you leave at home, or
Right.
are they even worth spending money on? Yeah, like if you have multiple kids, I mean, come on, I'm not saying you don't have to answer it, but anybody who has multiple kids, you have a favorite. I know parents go ahead and on that tangent of going, I love my kids all the same. Bullshit. One you kind of think's an asshole, and the other one you're like, yeah, I like him best. I'm not going to tell anybody. Of course, that's just rude. But if you have multiple kids, you like one better. I don't want to hear this bullshit that everybody's equal.
As a father of 2 children, you're right and you're wrong. It's situational. Sometimes one's your favorite in certain situations, and the other times the other one is.
But it's still the idea there.
On the whole, you don't have a favorite one, but no, it depends. There's certain things this one's for this one, this one's for that one. Like,
sure,
they each get cut out of things.
Dean missed a lot of movies as a kid. That's all I know.
Yeah, right.
Only because I was never the favorite.
I'll say you were one of 4. You had to beat out 3 other people, and that's not looking good in your favor.
Those pricks kept going to the movies. I was kept left in the baby cage. Dog cage, baby cage, whatever.
I'm not.
Right. the window cracked.
But yeah, but we all agree the strategy is ingenious. They can't spend these companies can't charge $30 for every movie that's out there. That's a higher tier, most certainly. But there'll be some in between. There'll be some. You almost guarantee you'll see some of these companies playing around with. They're already paying for the subscription service. This one we're going to give them for free. This one we can't charge $30. It's not Black Widow, but maybe it's $10 or maybe it's $15. And some people they'll pay that versus waiting another 2-3 weeks or whatever that it is. So
right,
you'll definitely see more of that out there. So yeah, I tend to agree. Let me ask you guys too, real quick, Nick and Scott especially. Do you care as much if it's on a big home theater? No, Dean, I think you and I. Like we're more old school in the big screen and all that. Like I'm probably not going to rent a movie for $30 and watch it on my phone or my iPad, for example. That's just not me.
Ain't happening.
Okay. Now, would you guys consider doing that, Nick and Scott? Are you just care about watching it on a portable device and spending the money, or no? You still have some type of. If I'm going to spend money on it, I at least want to see it on a bigger screen at home in a nicer environment. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
For me, like if it's a movie, I'm probably going to watch it on like an actual TV. It's not that big of a deal. Like, for example, I've paid for sporting events, things like that, and I'm like, I'll watch that shit on my phone, like, because it's all about seeing it live in that regard. But if it's a movie, and I mean, in the setting of a movie, I want to sit down and watch it. You know what I mean?
And uninterrupted, and
not be
stuff,
out somewhere.
Right?
Yeah, I guess, whatever. Or if I had good headphones, like I don't care. An iPad would be fine. I mean, a TV is it's because when I'm focused on something, it's all the same size. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't. I'm looking at the screen, so it's not really that big of a deal
because
to me.
I've always heard that you're a size queen.
Size matters not. Size matters not. No, I mean, I would prefer, sure, I would prefer to watch, but it wouldn't be like a deal breaker to be like, watch it on an iPad or something. Like, whatever. If I have if it's fits the situation, or if it's like something that just I want to see, and all the TVs are taken, and I mean, this scenario has never happened, but if I have like 2 hours by myself and all the TVs are taken, and I just want to watch something, I'd watch it on an iPad. Like, I don't care, whatever. It all doesn't make a difference, because when I'm watching it, I'm not focused on what I'm watching it on. I'm focused on the content instead. But yeah, my preference would be a TV for sure.
Okay,
or
Scott, what do you think? Sorry, Nick.
No, you're good. I was done.
Scott, what do you think?
I mean, I agree with the focus part. You're focused on the story and everything, but I wouldn't pay $30 to watch it on a phone or iPad. I'd want to watch it on a big screen TV at least.
Okay. Yeah,
sound and everything.
So like with the Spider-Man movie that's coming out, even if they offered that for $10 at home, I would still pay to go to the theater to spend more
Yes.
money to see that particular one. That's just me, because
If
I
they
want to
offered
see
it
a big screen
free,
on
but
the
only
big
on your
blockbuster.
Apple iPhone, right? Say,
Yeah.
exclusively the new Spider-Man movie is only on your Apple iPhone.
Right.
Nope.
Not the
I would
first
rather
viewing.
right. First viewing, I would rather, and I will pay the money to go see it on a bigger screen rather than free on a small device, or even
With your-
tablet. Still is not acceptable.
And I still like that experience, like with your friends. Like we've all enjoyed, certainly, the Star
Every
Wars
Star
movies,
Wars
and
movie,
just that feeling with your friends, and that excitement and when everybody in the audience reacts to something on the screen, that's pretty cool. There's still something about the theater experience for those big blockbusters.
Yeah, Scott, you don't know this, but all three of us actually went to the original Star Wars movie in the theater together to see it. Yeah. Yeah, my dad and Nick's dad went and came on the seats next to Brian's, but we were all there in the theater together.
Yeah, that was a weird experience.
It was a little odd, but
But that's why you go to the theater to watch random strangers jizz on the seats next to you. That's part of the experience. That's why you pay the extra money.
That's right.
You can't get that at home. You can, but you got to ask the right people.
Anybody who watches a movie with me at home does, but that's why Mom won't come over.
All right, good stuff. So other superhero movies that are coming out here. I don't know if you got this was just out. I just saw it today for the first time, but there's a back shot of The Rock in his Black Adam suit. I don't know if he posted that on his Twitter or Instagram, social media. Whatever. And I mean, if you've seen The Rock lately, I mean, this guy is freaking huge.
Yeah.
But the suit.
If you follow him on Instagram, his workout videos are just ridiculous. Like, no human should fucking be able to look like that. You know what I mean? It's like when you would draw like when you're drawing a superhero on things. That's what he looks like. Like his muscles have muscles, and they're fucking muscles on top of that. And come on.
He's got to be close to his 50s, right?
I don't.
Closer to 50 than 40.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I would guess.
Yeah.
He's not a spring chicken anymore.
Right.
No, that's got to be tough. Yeah, but anyways, are you guys excited for Shazam 2, for Black Adam, and just the Shazam sequel in general?
I've never seen Shazam 1.
Oh, see that one.
We want to. It's one of those that we just never got around to. Yeah. But we were talking about the other day. Him and I want to go check it out. So we might. I think it's got to be on
it's on Disney
Peacock or something. Disney Plus,
HBO Max. HBO Max.
HBO Max. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they have all the DC
pull
stuff.
that up.
Yeah. Carter could enjoy that too. It's definitely a
he was brought it up just recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah, I mean it's a kid movie. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, Nick, Scott, Shazam. Are you interested in the sequel with The Rock? What do you think about that?
I mean, I love The Rock, so I'll watch him in anything. I think he's a great actor. He's a fun actor. I don't know if I was great, I guess, but
sure. Yeah, that's more accurate. Yeah, fun actor. He's got good roles, and he pulls off what he does well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, a
couple duds there with the Tooth Fairy and
right.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
then you got to think when he got out of wrestling. He wanted to be taken seriously, so he dropped all that weight and all that muscle all at once, and he did movies like that to where he was thinner and he didn't look like he did in the ring. And then he realized, fuck, that's not what people want to see The Rock with muscles. So he ends up going the extreme opposite and putting on a ridiculous amount of muscles.
Right.
And
he's way bigger than he ever was wrestling.
Yeah. Come to find out, that's what people want to see.
Yeah,
like they just saw the previews that the Jungle Cruise movie looks pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, doesn't hurt that Emily Blunt's in it.
Yeah, I don't think that on The Rock. I don't think that Nick's shirt will get over his neck.
No.
The
waist of it.
Hulk.
But or maybe
You put Nick's shirt over his neck and just flex his neck and just rip it right in half.
I mean, it barely got over the fucking mushroom stamp that's Nick's head.
Yeah. Right. We talked about this in a prior episode, but I don't know if we know Rob Zombie is remaking the Munsters.
Mm-hmm. We talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Yes. So he put out a blueprint of the Munster house that they're going to build on set.
Okay.
And if you are a fan of the television show, I mean, he has it exact. It will look like the Munster house on the television show. I mean, he is such a fan, and that was kind of his comment, that he wants this thing to be perfect. But if you look at that blueprint, no mistaking that is the Munster house from the TV show.
So,
go ahead.
You know, with it being Rob Zombie, I know we talked about this before, but with being Rob Zombie, and now with that revelation of the house being identical to what it was in the show, is he going to put comedy in this?
Yeah,
I think you have to.
It's not a dark.
Well, it's Rob Zombie.
Movie.
I know, but if he's really a fan, you can't do that.
Okay,
that's what it was. It was.
I'm hoping also, but they've done a lot of things that were like comedies back in the day that they made into dramas, or dramas back in the day and they made into comedies. I mean, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. Plus, Rob Zombie being the horror guy, so I'm not even, I don't think it's a ridiculous statement to think that you're a little worried about what he's going to do.
I don't think so. He's such a fan of the show that
has he done comedy?
I don't know that he's done comedy, but like I said, he's such a. If he wants to get the house down to the exact specifications, he's not going to make it a horror movie. That would be blasphemy. You know what I'm saying? This can't be done.
I've seen him in interviews and stuff. Like, he's got a good sense of humor. Like, it's not. I mean, even though he hasn't done it before, it wouldn't shock me to be like, oh, Rob Zombie could pull off I think he can do it in the right way. Where I think he can I think he'll do it well. And I mean, like you said, he's such a big fan of the show. I think he can put his twist on it and still bring a sense of realism to it.
I want the comedy, but
also
I want the gruesomeness of
campy a little bit.
Yeah.
The downfall would be probably, if anything, to me, it will be his casting choices. I think he keeps pulling in people like his wife and others from his other movies to play some of these iconic roles. I can't remember who's playing Herman, but it's the same. It's
do they have the casting already?
Some of them, I believe. It's like some of those are questionable. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. That'll come out later, but I think at least he'll try to make it more like the television show anyway. So
hope so.
Scott, are you a Munsters? We all talked about the Munsters prior. Were you a Munsters fan or not so much?
Nope.
There you go.
Show that I've only seen probably 3 episodes.
Nick at Night.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Nick at Night. Got to. I guess how else would someone our age see it?
They are all for free. All the original Munsters on the Peacock app for free right now.
First run.
Download it for free. They're all there for you. I discovered that. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to bring that up because you guys want to be interested in that.
Somebody die?
No. What? Yes, actually.
We are interested. Let's do this.
Well, this particular one.
You need to play on the YouTube video, Brian. You need to play like dun 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 dun. Like we need to have like a segment intro into the deaths here.
So these are fictional deaths again, but I'm a huge fan of the Evil Dead franchise with Bruce Campbell. Okay, so this October will be the 40th anniversary of the original Evil Dead movie. They're going to replay it in special screenings. You know those like the special event they have at theaters where they'll bring back old movies and stuff like that. It's going to be some of those. So there'll be special screenings in October. Bruce Campbell is going to shoot a new intro.
Nice.
Highly interested in that. Crazy, campy. Well, the first one was actually more horror. Very scary.
And you said
creepy.
How many years?
40 years ago. So back in 81, this thing came out.
That motherfucker looks amazing.
Oh, absolutely. And they're making a 4th one, by the way. They're making a 4th Evil Dead
I heard about
movie.
that.
where he's producing and direct. He's at least producing. I think he's going to be
Bruce
directing.
Campbell looks goddamn. I didn't know he
Yeah.
was that old.
Yeah.
How old was he when he did those? Jesus.
He was a young kid in his first one. He looked like a teenager, early 20s anyway, in the first one.
Okay.
So,
Well, regardless of how old you look, when you get to a certain age, it's always a good idea to have one thing. You know what that thing is?
Well, if you're smart, it'd be insurance.
That's exactly that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Where could he find that?
Hold on. I'm going to tell you about Blake Insurance because it's an Erie insurance company. It's located right here where we are, or at least where Nick and I are, Barberton, Ohio, right here, home. And home that they offer home, auto, renters, business, and life insurance. I tell you, Erie Insurance, man, it is above all else in service. I tell you what you want to do. You want to call 234-571-5359. Or you can get up on the interwebs, put your wwws in, and go.
Don't forget those. It won't work without them.
It won't work it up without them. BlakeInsuranceLLC.com. You can go for your 5-minute quote today. And I tell you, because that insurance will give you the insurance you need in life and home and auto. You know, call Aaron. He'll help you out. And he's a good dude.
fantastic.
There you go.
But before I did that read, Brian, when Nick said the most important things in life, did you point to your genitals? I mean, I agree. Don't get me wrong. I agree that your genitals are the most important things in life, but I just wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
They're in pristine condition in that Battlestar Galactica shirt.
Barely been touched. Almost right out of the package.
Fresh out of the package. Mint condition, you might say.
All right. So I just
segue that.
Yep. I can't think of a better way to wrap up the show other than talking about my genitals.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
It's been an abrupt halt to many events. They have been an abrupt halt to many events, parties, weddings. There was a baptism.
Sexual interactions.
It was sexual interaction. There was a baptism. It's a long story. I won't go into that right now. But Thanksgivings. It's just.
It's in a little dress, and they.
All right. Yep.
See, I picture at Thanksgivings it's dressed up like a turkey.
Yep.
It's got a little
things on the back.
Yep. Well, Scott's been there. It's a whole ugly. It's ugly thing.
That's the gizzard.
Not the turnout.
It was after like just one too many Dallas Cowboy losses on Thanksgiving or something like that.
He said, "Keep pulling and make a wish."
Yep. Just had enough. All right, so on that note, I'm looking at the time here. We can keep going here, but Nick, I think it's a good time to wrap it up. So,
are we still talking about the episode, or is that something else?
Nope, still his genitals. Go ahead.
Yep.
Okay. So,
we'll wrap up this episode as well. Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
If you like what you're hearing out there, and we know you do, you're going to want to head on over to Facebook and YouTube and search for Convincing Idiots, because you're going to find more cool stuff like this. Also, we are on Twitter at Convincing Idiot, just one, and that one is probably Brian's special friend. Also, we are on Instagram, that's at Convincing_Idiots. We're on TikTok at Convincing Idiots, or we can be reached via email, and that is at convincingidiots@gmail.com. We're available wherever you enjoy listening to podcasts. And if you ask nicely your home assistant device to play the Convincing Idiots podcast, hopefully he, she, they will do that. So you can also find all of those links that I mentioned on our Convincing Idiots link tree, a tree of links, if you will. Go to Google and search Convincing Idiots, LINKTREE. And there you will see all the links that I mentioned conveniently placed in a nice little row for you. You can click them. Go to all the social media accounts, go to all the podcasts you want, listen, listen to all the fun things that we talk about. Listen to all of the discussions about Brian's body parts and other things.
There's a lot of discussions about him.
There really is.
Mhm.
It comes up quite frequently.
Always
So
comes.
if you're enjoying this and you would enjoy that, then head on over to those platforms and we will see you there. So for this episode of Convincing Idiots, I am your resident millennial, Nicholas.
I am the Zennial Dean.
I'm Brian, GenX.
Just Scott still.
Just
Scott still. So have
Thank
we
you, Just
convinced
Still, for joining us.
and thank you out there for listening. So have we convinced you to visualize Brian's junk as a turkey? Gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble, gobble.